All right, welcome back. Today we are talking about something extremely important because founders do not fail because of a lack of access to capital. It's not because they ran out of money. Founders fail. Business owners fail. Entrepreneurs fail because you don't know when to pivot. How to pivot is easy. Let's get into that in a minute. We're going to go into it all the way in depth because it's really important that by the end of this broadcast, the live chat is open. Feel free to jump in there with any questions, but it's extremely important that by the end of our time together, you understand, one, when to pivot, and secondly, is it the audience you're targeting that you need to pivot, or is it what you're offering them that needs to pivot? And this is urgent. So that intro was 2.5 seconds too long for some of you because you really need this. Pivot became a popular term during the COVID pandemic. For entrepreneurs, for founders, globally, it was, oh my God, no one's going to work. Everyone's stuck at home. And we offer, as someone who pitched an investment venture fund I sit on the board of yesterday, they had an application for in-person networking, and they said revenue literally died. When do you pivot? They pivoted, and they pivoted quickly and successfully. They pitched yesterday their second venture. So they've had an exit already. They're on to number 2. But the lesson in that is something I really need you to understand because everybody's not a client for me. I get it. That's fine. I don't give a damn. I need to help everyone I touch, right? I need every business I encounter, every founder, every person with a scalable idea, which is like where I'm good, right? If you're trying to figure out how to sell more soul food, listen, if it's good, I'll definitely patronize, but I can't help you. But if you're selling 30 pallets of something a month and you need to get to 300, oh my God, that's a great challenge. But sometimes they don't want what's on your pallet. So let's talk about this word pivot. What's the real trigger of any pivot? Pivots aren't about failure. Pivots are about the road you're taking, the pathway you're taking, the roadmap you're following, the strategy you're executing, no longer being aligned with the reality of market conditions, the priorities of your target market. Okay, so those are the main 2 things. Those are the triggers that say, adapt or die. Adapt or die, adapt or die. This is important. I want that etched into your brain. Adapt or die. It's very important that the goal you have set for yourself be centered around who you help and how you help them uniquely. I'm going to say that every time I get a chance to talk with you, because that's the people chasing money are about to really get kicked in the pants, right? Because if you're not delivering a value and clear on how your value is differentiated from everyone else's, you're going to be like someone selling luxury goods in a low-income community. Unless you're selling the knockoffs, you're probably not selling at all. Although Air Jordan sales have not gone down. Message. So number 1 is you're misaligned with what's important to your client, what's going on with your client, or what the realities of the economy, of the marketplace are. That's trigger number 1 and 2. That's important for so many reasons and on so many levels. But I want you to understand the warning signs in case you aren't reading the tea leaves every week like you should be. That's what Sundays are for. Reading industry news, reading market news, doing social listening to your buyer, your customer, your client. So warning signs are revenue begins to flatline. Okay. Pardon me, but we are clearly live. Revenue starts to flatline. You were at 20% growth. You're at about 8 this year. That doesn't sound bad until you realize inflation is about 11, 12. And now you realize you are no longer profitable. So slowing revenue growth, stalled conversions. Well, you know, I love what you have to say. I love what you're offering. Let's table this for next quarter. Let's table this for next quarter means I am not clear on the speed of the return on investment of doing this. The flip side is you might not have communicated effectively. The challenge is the need for speedy ROI in the B2B world is not always realistic. You're not going to hire a salesperson at $5,000 a month plus commission and see results in 30 days. You're not going to have a strategy done or a roadmap done, and while you're sleeping, Mickey Mouse is in your kitchen with the roadmap or the strategy, waving his wand, and things are happening for you. The sales cycle doesn't change. Let's go a little bit deeper. Every pivot I have ever seen hits a reset. So when you're pivoting, it is extremely important, before we go into whether it's your offer or your audience, I need you to understand the triggers and this caveat. When you pivot, do not stop the sales process. Do not stop. Do not change the sales approach drastically for those leads that you are currently engaging in, or they will hit the reset button for you. They will lose trust and credibility in you, because yesterday we were talking about apple pie and you showed up with a peach cobbler. Now, every American knows that peach cobbler is better than apple pie, but it's too late. You got my appetite, my taste buds ready for apple pie. I went and bought all natural vanilla bean ice cream to go on top of my apple pie, and you show up with peach cobbler, which the only ice cream that goes with that is a roasted butter pecan, which I've only ever been able to find in ATL. Shout out to Atlanta. So understand, pivots are necessary. If you're pivoting an offer, if you're pivoting an audience, that is starting a new sales cycle for the pivot. Leads already in the hunt, in nurturing, building relationship with, don't drop those balls. We're in our CRM. Visit richlaster.com and get a free pipe drive for 30 days. We're in our CRM. We're adding a new pipeline for a new pivot, because we're starting fresh with that's new messaging. All right. Brand 3 put out a blog today that's absolutely amazing. Matt Wolf and I having a conversation on how your unique sales proposition influences your brand message. And that brand message, That unique sales proposition being strong is what unites your sales and your marketing efforts. Now you're aligned. Now you're running on all 8 cylinders. I do not recommend 4 cylinders in this economy, but if that's all you have, that's all you have. So now, what are the triggers? We know what the triggers are. Misalignment. What are the signs? Slow revenue growth, right? Performance is down. We're not closing what we used to. We're not converting like we used to. Okay. Second, we understand that our current sales cycle doesn't get thrown in the trash. We're creating a new one. Because if you completely reboot, you're literally killing opportunity for the sake and hope of new opportunity in this adapted direction and pathway. All right? That's important. When to pivot what you offer. This is big. Sips his coffee. Shout out to Win Win Coffee. You pivot your offer when what your client cares about most is no longer aligned with the value proposition of your offering. So you are no longer differentiated in such a way to them that it equates to a sale for you. All right? This is really important. The customer that you originally wanted to serve with the best device that they've ever seen, now, they don't want anything that's clunky. And this is all that you have in your warehouse. Pivot. There are still people buying the clunky, but how fast can you deploy a watch option? How fast can you deploy an earbud option? Right? Because what you try to offer to the marketplace as a form of help for the customers who are buying is less important if you want to make money than being a solution, an actual value for them, right? When brand unites sales and marketing, what we're doing is we're talking to the customer about how we help the customer. It's about the customer. It's not about how great we are and how great what you offer is, right? That's your mom's hustle. Oh, you're great, baby. It's going to be just fine. No, it's not. It's not. You have to do a lot of work. Stop being lazy. ChatGPT is not your best friend. ChatGPT is a supporting role. Okay? When do you pivot your offer? When do you take a phone and turn it into a watch phone? So it's smaller, it's lighter, it wirelessly Bluetooth connects to their Google glasses and their Meta glasses and their earbuds. When do you pivot? When the market is screaming at you that they no longer put high value on what you offer. You pivot or you die. You adapt or you die. And I'm not going to any funerals of any founders anytime soon. I'll miss you. I'll have a red velvet cupcake and some coffee and think about you. But not for long, because it's a lot to be done. So pivot your offer when you know that the people you set this business out to help need to be helped in a bit of a different way than you were a year ago. And you'll succeed. Okay? And if you don't, pivot again. Adapt or die. The key to knowing when to pivot an offering is the ability to socially listen. If I say anything to founders experiencing stagnant, flatline, or negative revenue, it's what are your customers saying? What is the voice of the customer? What is their buyer journey? Are you doing social listening? Oh, you built an MVP. You did a lot of listening to the consumer and you haven't listened since. And now 3 years later, nobody's buying and you're wondering why. You only had them in the loop long enough to validate building a prototype instead of remembering that these are going to be the same people who are your clients when you go to market. So it's not just about the money. Keep who you help top of mind. Keep them front of mind. Keep them on your damn mind. Because it's really important that you have real-time data from the horse's mouth about what they would like to see you do better, how they would change your product if they were you. Listen, people that care enough to open their mouths 82% of the time are also willing to go in their wallets. So pivot that offering when the market is telling you that you need to adjust, adapt, or die. All right? That is huge. But it's not always your offer, is it? Sometimes you have created something that's very strong. Experts like myself in the sales, branding, and marketing space are experiencing this right now. And we have gone through an audience pivot. Startups who are not venture backable are not hiring consultants, experts at sales, marketing, or branding because it's a numbers game. They just need to sell. They need some advice, visit my blog. If you don't see it there, jump in the comments. I'll point you in the right direction. You're not a client right now. If you got what it takes, maybe you'll be one later. Maybe not, but I have an obligation to help others, for real. So sometimes you have to know who is and is not your audience. You have this great offering, right? But somehow, after being in business for 5 to 10 years, you have these strong Google reviews, you're looking good, you're sounding good, revenue is still flatlining for you. You know why? What you aren't noticing is, if you look at your business over the last 4 quarters, so we're comparing quarter by quarter, if you look at your business for the last 4 quarters, what you are going to notice immediately is that more than 60% of your business is not your ideal client profile. That means that you have poorly profiled your ideal client. It's not them. But guess what? The good news is you have your true ideal client profile in your book of business. Realign your marketing, brand messaging, sales scripting, email scripting, outreach efforts to speak to these people that are already spending money with you so that you can connect with more people like them who are going to be spending money with you. Do not waste your time believing that the way you're doing it is fine and the world needs to catch up. Being an arrogant prick is the fastest way to bankruptcy court. Don't do it. There's no magic bullet. There's no high-speed rail line. Okay? You want that? Go to Europe. Enjoy the ride. In these United States, guess what, baby? You better what? Adapt or die. Because like the alternative sucks, but the economy sucks. The number of people that will go out of business this year is tremendous. That's okay. You didn't fail. You did your best. I hope you learned your lesson. I hope your lesson wasn't, we're sticking with an offering that people aren't paying for, but we believe in the offering. Hey, stupid. I don't care if you believe in it or not. It's not selling, and you're in business to make revenue. You can take that revenue and save the whales. You can take that revenue and buy a Bentley Continental GT convertible. It's your choice. You could also do both. But you got to make the money first. I can't stress that to you enough. The number one goal of any business is to make money. Oh, I just need access to capital. Oh, I need help. No. Why'd you start a business if you didn't know how it was going to make money? How it is supposed to make money is by delivering a value to the world. All right? Sometimes what you're offering needs to pivot. Sometimes who you're offering it to needs to pivot. Enough of me. This is Rich Lasser with growexpand.com. Having to pivot isn't a weakness. Doing it wrong doesn't make you stupid. Doing it wrong a day after you found out you were doing it wrong, now that's pretty dumb. Don't do that. Okay? At Grow Expand, we exist for one purpose, and that's to help you drive revenue growth. Whether it's as simple as building out your CRM specifically for your business, or putting a roadmap in your hand for you to do the work until you can afford to hire a salesperson to do the work for you. The sad part there is you got to do the work. All right? Time block out 2 to 4 hours a day to be on the phone, to be doing outreach, and do your project work at night. You can still get 6 to 8 hours sleep. You just can't watch Housewives. I'm Rich Lasser with growexpand.com. It has been a pleasure to spend this time with you. And now, a word from our sponsor.
A bit about our company. We produce strategies and deploy experts to grow your business revenue. The success of our clients is a direct result of the 25+ years of sales and marketing experience of our founder, Rich Lasser. We take the guesswork out of increasing your revenue. Our reputation is built on results, not another roll of the dice with your marketing budget. Visit growexpand.com to learn how.